Are you also a pro at setting goals and not achieving them? Do you always postpone to tomorrow taking actions towards your goals? Or do you simply struggle to define healthy goals and wonder, is it okay to simply not have goals? If you answered yes to one of those questions, this video is meant for you. We'll explore how to have a healthy relationship with goals by first understanding why reaching goals is always so complicated. Then we're going to learn how to set healthy goals. And finally, how to really achieve them. This is the part of the video where I should tell you what greatness I have achieved thanks to setting goals and why you should listen to my advice. But greatness and success is all relative, and my definition might not be yours. So I designed this video differently. I aim to give a different perspective on setting and reaching goals. I'm curious to hear, after watching this video, if you will feel pleasure where maybe you felt constrained. Part 1. Why are we so bad at reaching our goals? I can only speak for myself, but I have two very distinct parts inside of me. One part that is very ambitious, that want to explore the world, that want to move mountains, that want to make the world a better place. And I have this other part that is simply lazy, that thinks that life would be so amazing if we could do everything from our bed. That part thinks that there's not enough days in a weekend to start with. That part thinks that having fun is more important than helping the world. And that if the world is burning, well, it can wait a few more scrolls or the end of the Netflix series. Whenever these two parts used to fight, guess who was always winning? You're right, I wouldn't have bet much on my ambitious part at the time. My lazy part was always the most convincing and had the best ideas. Who wouldn't want to change the world from his bed? I mean, Yoko Ono and John Lennon tried, but this is another story. Do you recognize yourself in my story? Does your lazy part always overpower your ambitious side? You witness this paradox, that one part is focused on short-term pleasure and saving energy, while the other one is focused on long-term goals and realizations through hard work. Without healthy goals, turns out they both trigger each other accidentally. When I relax for too long, I feel that life is passing by and I haven't done any of what matters. But when I work too hard for an extensive period of time, I feel like it's time to take a break, to release the foot from the accelerator. So in this context, what does goal represent? Goals is the conscious conversation between the two parts of me to make sure that both parts are heard and they avoid triggering each other. The lazy part needs to listen more to the ambitious side and avoid distractions, whereas the ambitious side needs to speak up, get more confident, and set boundaries. Only then they can arrive to a balanced conversation where harmony takes place. In this second part, we're going to learn how to define healthy goals. It all starts with asking yourself the right questions. As we previously saw, the ambitious part needs to speak up more. Asking yourself these questions will help you understand better that part of you. Don't hesitate to pause between each of the questions to answer them and take notes. What do you want to achieve before you die? Do you have any secret dreams that you're hiding inside? What would you do if you were rich and money was not an issue? What project are you hiding after you retire? What do you want to leave in this world to make it a better place? What do you have unlimited energy for? What career will you try if it wasn't too late? What other metrics than money provide you a meaningful life? Chasing money is not fulfilling, and therefore should not be the focus of your dreams. Living abroad, creating a shelter for dogs, creating art, helping people in need, having a family, traveling, learning something new like an instrument or meditation, starting to create some content, is generally some more fulfilling goals that you want to aim for. Following these questions, if you have a lot of ideas that come up, prioritize them to avoid being paralyzed by the amount of goals that you need to set. Better start slow and steady by focusing on your natural appetite. With your goals, you want to explore, try stuff, give it a go, and stop what doesn't resonate with you. What doesn't flow, stop it. Have the curiosity to try something else. If something that you drop too early grows under your skin, give it another try. For the other of you that have less ideas but are confronted with more complex goals, simply divide them into smaller, attainable goals. I can share an example of a goal that seemed complex at the time, but once divided was no longer the case. I wanted to create art but didn't know where to start, and I kept on avoiding that goal. When I finally divided that goal into smaller steps, I realized that the very first step that was blocking me is defining which art. After investing time in that very first step, I realized that I wanted to produce music. The step number 2 was simply buying a powerful computer. Step 3 was getting familiar with music production tools. And step 4 was simply having fun, trying and learning. Looking backward, I wonder why did I carry that dream unrealized for such a long time instead of acting on it. It's simply because I hadn't spent time dividing this goal into smaller steps. Finally, for those that came with no goals when I asked the questions, don't worry, it's actually pretty normal. It also happened to me 1 year where I felt like something was growing inside of me, but I couldn't translate it into a clear goal. Luckily for me, I knew how to navigate imprecise goals. The solution is simple. Just focus on identifying the next step. It's okay to not always see the light outside of the tunnel. Sometimes several turns still need to happen before the light can finally be seen. In the example I was mentioning earlier, the goal was blurry. It was hiding under several layers. The only one next step I had identified is that I wanted to go to Bali to attend a silent retreat. From there, I reconnected with meditation that I had dropped at the time. During the same retreat, I found a book in the library that will finally guide me towards my future goals. That book was called What on Earth Am I Here For? And I thought, that's it. I might finally have found the light. I knew that my answers was inside of that book and that it would be the last turn I had to take. That book was quite thick, and I thought, nothing valuable come easy. I was ready to go through the 368 pages. Only 20 pages into the book, I realized that the light will be harder to find than expected. I started to be tired, to be hungry. I needed a break. Luckily for me, mobile phones were forbidden at the retreat, and I couldn't access to cheap dopamine. So I just stood up and went to take a glass of water, to just have a break. When I came back, I had an intuition. Maybe I'm not meant to read the full book, and the goal will show itself. I decided to follow up with this idea. Just decided to split the book in half and put my finger in random pages. Turn out, no, I didn't find there my answer. Nothing particular on that page. But then I got curious. What if it was the next one? And believe it or not, here it was, my answer under my own eyes. A quote that I will never forget. The measure of a leader is not the number of people who serve him, but the number of people he serves. At my job, I've been trying to continuously grow as a leader by managing bigger teams, by chasing responsibilities. But with this quote, I realized that in fact, I could have opened my coaching outside of my company to serve more people. That year, I gave more than 20 free coaching and the feedbacks were all heartwarming. But my desire to help people didn't stop here. I wanted to help more people at scale, and YouTube will be the perfect platform for it. Launching a YouTube channel became a precise goal only when I had managed to navigate through blurry goals. Part 3. How to really reach your goals. A study by Gail Matthews shows that writing down goals outperform by more than 50% just thinking about goals. Don't hesitate to pause the video once again. Open your notes and write down your goals. That simple act of writing down your goals can improve significantly your success rate of reaching your goals. Having a commitment buddy and sharing progress increase furthermore the success rate of reaching your goals. If you don't have a commitment buddy, or if you're simply looking for some help to define your goals, don't hesitate to reach out and request a free coaching session. I've added the link in the description below. Once your goals are written down, set a deadline for each of them. Deadlines make miracles. Without deadlines, you will always postpone taking actions to tomorrow. If one of your goals is starting a new habit, try it for at least 30 days. If you need to take a break from your goals for a certain period of time, that's fine, as long as you set up a checkup with yourself in the future. For example, take a break all this summer. Just relax and enjoy the time with your friend, enjoy the sun. And come back recharged in September, fully ready to conquer your next goals. My last advice to really reach your goals is to use the yearly resolutions. I spend a bit of time at the end of each year to reflect what I have achieved and what I want to do next. It's a perfect time to revise your goals. Maybe you need to set goals differently, and instead of trying to run alone, run with a friend. Maybe you want to drop bad habits and focus instead on exploring new things, like health, relationships, spirituality, and helping others. Let's conclude how to have a healthy relationships with your goals. In tennis, you don't want to have a stiff grip when you hold your rackets. Instead, you want to have your wrist as relaxed as possible to increase power and reduce injuries. For goals, it's the same. Aim for ambitious but realistic goals. You don't want to be choked by your goals. Consistency beats intensity, which means reconnect with your goals frequently. Just like in a healthy relationship, you want a mix of fun and depth. If conversations were only fun, it will miss a deeper meaning to it. But if conversations were only deep, it will miss some space, some lightness, and some positive vibe. Apply the same principles to your goals. Identify some that are meaningful, but also some that are just fun. Everything is about balance, so experiment what works for you. If you like some support to define or refine ambitious and realistic goals, don't hesitate to request a free coaching. You'll find the link in the description below. And for those that watch the video until the end, thank you. Don't hesitate to give a like and subscribe. Cheers!